highlights. I don't know. Okay, so we're coming back. So what I did, I rearranged. I rearranged these, and let me move them up here. So when you want to do a cross transition, it's usually better to start up and down, but you can still do this. So when you go like this and it comes over, if you have an overlap between this and this, and you say, well, I want to start with this video piece, then go to this, so you hold Shift key down. So you start here and go there.
Which one is the airline in Colombia?
I don't know.
Oh, that's what I needed.
Okay, so when you start and you say, well, I'm going to start with this one and then do the transition there, then you should be able to go to add a transition and make it a cross transition, and it says it's going to go from the orange one to the blue one. So when you run the cursor over it, as you can see, it does a fine transition. If you were to do it backwards by mistake and put this one and then this one, so that this is the first one you clicked on, and then go transition cross, going from blue to red or orange, it's going to get all messed up because it doesn't know what it's transitioning to. So make sure that you select the first track, then the second track with Shift. Sometimes it helps to arrange your stuff by bringing it all down. You can get one for now, but you're just doing a reservation, right? So you'd put this over here, let a little bit of overlap, decide where you want it to go, and then that overlap can be the length of the transition if you want it to be slow or long. So that length between here and here is what the transition will be. So once again, you would select the first piece, Shift select the second, and come to Add Transition Cross. You'll see that it is going from, and you can move that anywhere, the orange to the blue. And then when you do it, it does a nice smooth transition over there. Now if you want to then transition to a picture of the college, you can see that if I put it next to it on the track, it just jumps to it. If I put it up on another track and I put it in a little bit, of course it's going to jump from one to the other, but it's going to cover up. So if I wanted to go from this to this, I click on this track first, then on the college picture, again go to Add Transition Cross. It says now it's going blue to orange, so from this track to this track. And so it fades out. But the music abruptly ends. So let's take a look a little bit at audio editing here. We did turn on display waveform so that you could see the audio waveform. And here I see this transition sloping down. Then I want the audio to fade out too. So what you do then is you go to add a, you're going to add a keyframe. And the way that you're going to do that, the volume starts at, it's at 1. Let's start back with this transition. We want this to fade in. So at the beginning of the audio clip, let's bring the volume down to 0. Now it's flatlined. Now click on this little dot here. That's called an animation property or a keyframe. When I click on it, it turns yellow. That means it's set as a key. But when we finish the transition here, we want it to be full volume. Notice how it turned green there. Put 1 for full volume. It turns orange. Hit the animate property to turn it yellow. That's a keyframe, and you can see there's a slope now down here going from 0 volume to full volume that corresponds with the slope that we'd put in for the transition. So now when we play it, it starts to come in. And the same thing going out. When we come back here, we want to still keep this highlighted. We're at the beginning of this video transition. The volume's at 1, so keep it at 1 by clicking on the keyframe animate property. It turns yellow. Go to the end and make it 0. It's orange, meaning it's ready to be turned into a keyframe. Hit animate property, turns yellow, and now it'll fade out properly. right? So you can see there's a slope down here that corresponds to this slope, just like there's a slope, a ramp of the volume going up, stays constant at 1, and then it goes out as we do our transitions.
We are all related.
And we get this nice piece of video here. Okay. Then we have the Patel College.
It's so expensive to use. What is the budget for the flights?
For the flight,
Yeah.
it should be anywhere from $400 to $800.
You can pay for 800 for down to one?
I hope not. So what we want here is we want to say something like, at the Patel Center for Global Solutions, our students work on creating the Rosebud Continuum Eco Science Center. So I'll go back to Audacity and I will make a new file, or I can just erase this old one because I've already saved it out. So I can select this one, select all, and hit delete. I got nothing there. Now I hit record and I say, let me get to the picture so I know what I'm looking at. And let me go back to Audacity. And I'll say, at the Dr. Kiran C. Patel Center for Global Solutions at the University of South Florida in Tampa, graduate students work on the Rosebud Continuum Eco Science Center as part of their graduate studies. Boom, so I got that there. Then I can listen to it and make sure it's okay. Hit play.
At the Dr. Kiran C. Patel Center for Global Solutions.
Okay, seems okay. I don't like that little there, so I'm going to get rid of that by hitting delete. And now...
At the Dr. Kiran C. Patel Center for Global Solutions.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to export it as an MP3, put it in my music folder, and call it Patel clip 1, maybe. And just ignore that. And now come back in here and go add a sound and find it in music. And there's the Patel clip 1. And it comes in where my cursor was. Let me bring it down here.
Should I use my maiden name or Pauline for the ticket?
Use your maiden name. I don't want to hassle with the airlines.
But if I have the
At the Dr. Kiran C. Patel Center for Global Solutions at the
But do your maiden name.
University of South Florida.
All right, again, you can't see the waveform because I have to select this clip and go display waveform. Now you can see it. I know.
At the Dr. Kiran C. Patel Center for Global Solutions at the University of South Florida in Tampa, graduate students.
So graduate students do this. So I don't need to see this picture for that whole thing. That would be boring. So let me pull this back to where you can see the audio starts with graduate students, this big waveform here. And I should get a picture of graduate students. Now I can't really see here so well. Maybe if I do Control Plus, no, it doesn't really grow these out. There's no, if you view display size, let's go to medium and then come down here. And what about this? Yeah, there's the graduate students. So I'm going to take, whoa, that's a video. Don't want that. I could use that actually. Why don't I do that? Why don't I scroll this down really small? Let me go to here. It's outside of my rendering area, but that's okay. Let me find a piece that I want that shows the students. Yeah, let's see what's a better piece. There you can kind of see them with Johnny speaking to the grad students. So again, you go to add, I'm sorry, not add, strip and then split, which is K. I'll get rid of this, get rid of this. I don't need the audio for any of this, and the audio is this light green thing, as you can see here. And I don't need it. There's the audio, so I'm going to get rid of the audio. I just want this piece for graduate students. So I'm going to come over here, hit K again, which is the knife to cut, and bring this back. Let me now expand this out. It's a lot of back and forth you're going to have to do. Bring this over, and let's see. So we get that.
At the Dr. Kiran C. Patel Center for Global Solutions at the University of South Florida in Tampa, graduate students work on the Rosebud Continuum Eco Science Center as part of their graduate studies.
Okay, that's all I need from there, and I can make it last that long. And
University of South Florida in Tampa, graduate students.
It's okay to have a cut there. I don't think we need to have a fade for that. That's a pretty abrupt idea, graduate students, so just make it a cut from one to the other. Then we have the drawdown solution book, and I grab that and I can make a cut to that.
Graduate studies.
Okay, and then
as part of their graduate studies.
Graduate studies, so I need to make that a little longer. Click on that and come out to there, graduate studies. Now here you would want, I think, a fade. So actually I can keep this going underneath it. I can have this come in. The book looks too big, but I can say, let me go to S for scale and let me scale that down. In fact, let's hit R for rotate. Let's put that in. That can be fun. And then we do want this to fade in. And I don't know how long this is going to last. Ooh, and there's that yicky movement there, which I don't want. So probably what I want to do then is to cut this and look for another piece of video that doesn't have that move. Yeah, that's pretty good. So let me come into here and here, and whoa, sometimes you have to just grab it from the middle and bring that in. And I should put a fade between these because that didn't look good. So I'm going to bring this up to here, and I'm going to go from here to here and hit add transition fade, or transition is better, cross, and that makes that fade there. And so you get this. There you go, from one shot to the other. But to get from that shot to that shot, I then want to put the book in above that so it'll appear, the camera's looking down through it. So once we do this transition, I want, at the same time, I want the book to come in. Let's see what that would look like. So, actually I want the book to come in earlier than that.
As part of their graduate studies.
And I guess actually what I want to do is bring this back as part of their graduate studies. I want to come back here, then I want to come into here as that's being said, or make it just a little bit longer. There we go. And then have the book come in.
Part of their graduate studies.
Okay. So this is supposed to fade in also. There's another way to do a fade in when you're just dealing with an object like this book. So one way to do that is to come out here to the beginning of where the book comes in and go to opacity and make it 0. Now it's disappeared. Make a keyframe out of that. Come to the end of the fade and make the keyframe 1, the opacity 1. Click on it, and now you have it fading in. And I want to say, I want to read that and see how long that takes. I'm going to go back to Audacity, and I'm going to say, let me get rid of all this because I don't need it. It's Control A and delete, and I'm going to record. The students use the book Drawdown, the most comprehensive plan ever proposed to reverse global warming, edited by Paul Hawken. That is our primary text. Okay, so we take that and see if it sounds okay. Actually, I want to get rid of that pause in the beginning by hitting delete. Let's see.
The students use the book Drawdown, the most comprehensive.
Yeah, okay. So let's export that as an MP3 and call it Drawdown. Of course, it would make a lot more sense if I had the script pre-written instead of making it up as I go along, but it does work. Oh, I don't know if I saved it properly. Where did I export it to? Export as MP3. It was in the music folder. Okay, so we're okay with that. So you come in here and you say, put the cursor where you want the next piece of audio to come in, and we see that the original piece of audio ended there. There's time for the transition. So add and then sound, and then go to music, and then find the drawdown one. And where did it go? Where did it come in? It came in on top. The display waveform. There it is. But let me move it just for organizational skills sake. Move it down to the other audio track and have it come in here.
Center as part of their graduate studies. The students use the book Drawdown, the most comprehensive plan ever proposed to reverse global warming, edited by Paul Hawken. That is our...
Okay, so that audio, we needed to get the video going behind there. So we stretch that out. And then we can come out there.
That is our primary text.
And we need that image of the text to last that long. And then we want to have that fade out afterwards. But
Global Warming, edited by Paul Hawken. That is our primary text.
And at that point, we will hit a keyframe of 1. And then, yeah, for the end of it, we're going to go to 0. And there we go. And 0. So that's all for now. And then I'm going to come back later on.